Hi and welcome to another post of this mk2 Jaguar wide-body two-door coupe, which I'm on with. Yes, door seals. I have had a right joy. Let's call it a right joy with door seals for this thing. Before I go on any further about door seals at the moment, there's a gentleman's YouTube channel, Vic's Projects, and he's got a mk2 Jaguar, and he's just put a video up of door seals, and he's gone from the original sponge door seal to a hollow rubber seal. He has put it apparently in his in the description, and I wish at some point I'd have had that video 3 weeks earlier than what it came out the other day, because I've had a nightmare with these seals. Now, these seals, they are supposed to be sponge. Originally they were sponge. I'd been on a number of forums when I went to purchase the seals, and some cheap ones are just rubber, just soft rubber. But you literally can't close the door with them. And a lot of people say make sure you get a good sponge rubber. So I went to S&G Barrett, and that's where I got these. I'm sure they were S&G Barrett I got these from. But anyway, I spent quite a bit of money getting these seals, hoping that I could just put them straight into the shut, and I could set the door up, and hey presto, would be away, and it would be great. And it turned out that wasn't the case at all. I cleaned everything up, cleaned the face up to be glued with some panel wipe. I've got some really good contact adhesive, really good. And I put my glue on, I stuck it all in, and I thought, yeah, that's perfect. Come to shut the door, wasn't having it. Then I noticed that the seals was coming away from the shut where they sat inside. All down here, it started coming away. I thought, that can't be right, because I glued both sides, and I did exactly what you're supposed to do anyway. It had come off the seal, it wouldn't bond to the seal. So I ended up having to sand this face so it could key in, because it wouldn't stick to its finished face. So I did that, so I redid it all. Come to shut the door. It still wouldn't obviously shut. Just literally, it was stuck out here was the door, literally, and it was just pushing this. It was just pushing the seal's weight, and I thought these are supposed to be a good set of seals, and it wasn't having it. So I was doing the offside. So later on, when I've discussed this, because I'm on with this door at the moment, I had to pull all the seals back off, but because I'd sanded it all down to make a good key, then I was worried that I might tear the seal. Luckily I didn't, but it had bonded it well. So I ended up having to cut about 3 millimeters off the seal. So this is some of the stuff that I cut off. There is a lot more. But I had to do the whole seal, so I did from the top of the door all the way around, all the way up to here. I haven't touched anything of this yet, because I haven't got the frames in, the chrome frames for the windows, and I'm not chopping anything off until I get those in, because knowing my luck, they'll be okay on that. So anyway, so I haven't touched anything on the back of these. I've just stuck them up to there and I've left it. So I found that the rubber, even though it's sponge, it's still quite stiff. So what I had to do, I had to set it. I've set some parts of it flush. So this bottom part here, I've set it flush with the face there. The sides here and down the door shut at the front here, I've set them slightly in to the thick, just less than the thickness of the door skin where it's folded round the door frame, which is roughly about 3 mil. So I've set it to about 2 mil, 1.5 mil, 2 mil. It's a bit, because like I said, I had to cut it, so I had to cut it with a Stanley knife to get it in. So I did that and I eventually got the door in, and I'll show you, and it's 99%, it's pretty much perfect. I didn't want to take any more, just simply because if I did, likelihood is as it would settle, then I would start getting gaps. And I don't want to get any air noise in it, even with a fur flex it's supposed to stop air noise coming through the seal where it's not touching. Like I say, Vicks Pro, I wish I'd have known, because I probably would have got them just to try it out and just to see what they were like, because I don't know how far it compresses up for the door, but Vic seems to be quite happy with what he's got. I didn't see how close he got the faces running parallel with each other, you know, and face to face, but I'm presuming he got it right. Anyway, so I did that. Also, to get in the corners, I had to put a 45-degree cut in. So I made this little jig, and basically I bent it to the profile of the rubber. So I put the rubber in, let's get it right. So I put the rubber in like that, and then that angle there, with my Stanley knife, sharp knife blade, I just put it on there and I just cut it like so. And being careful, because it is trying to push it up, so as I was working, I just as best as I could, just carefully cutting it and trying to hold it in place to stop it pushing it out of the way, because if it pushes it out of the way, the mitre will be wrong. So you see that there? So that is a perfect 45-degree mitre for this profile. I did both sides 45. Just a simple bit of aluminium that made me a 45-degree mitre. I'll give you the best side I've just done. And when I put them in, absolutely perfect. And I glued it with some super glue. Super glue, strong stuff. So I super glued it with that. And like I say, absolutely perfect. Putting the rubbers in, because also the thickness here, and all these measurements, this is original, the B post is an original gap, the A post is the same. I added an extra top on top of the sill onto here, but the distance was all measured, it was absolutely bang on. This aluminium cover I've put on, it made it exactly perfect, and yet I had to compress it in. So when I put the rubber in, I set it in, yeah, like that. And I've got this, the glass place next to me uses these plastic wedges for the windows to set them in or something. So there were a number of them kicking around outside on the floor, so I picked them up, and they're absolutely brilliant for this stuff. So I set it in, so this bottom edge was just sat into where it needed to be. And then with this, I pushed it down and in. So it was down and in from the top there. And that brought the whole thing into play and pushed it over. So it, in essence, just squeezed this in as I pushed it in. And that allowed it to go in and get it pretty much as it should be. This door, I was hoping to have got it done yesterday, but unfortunately the lads at the glass place was burning a load of rubbish in a bin, and I was getting ash and smoke in the unit, because there's a lot of wind blowing around in our corner. You probably just heard that piece actually. A lot of wind blows around, and so this place was filling up with ash and smoke, and so I had to stop. So I've got a load of ash on the car, and inside the car now I need to clean out before it starts to stain anything. But anyway, they did dock it out for me, but it was too late then. The place was covered with the stuff. Anyway, so with that little whinge, this door needs to be finished. I haven't got it set in, but we'll go around to that side on the driver's side, and I'll show you the finish that I've got, and it does shut quite well. I've got, like I say, it's running pretty much flush as it should be. As the door sat up at the seal, hopefully they'll settle in better. But it's not stuck out like a wing or out like that. It's 99%. Man on the dashing horse would never notice it at all. And in fact, even if you were to scrutinise it, you really wouldn't be knocking it that much. But I do want it to be as good as I can get it. But I felt if I take too much off, I'm going to mess it up later on down the line as the thing maybe settles down. But yeah, it has been a pain in the backside. Like, I've had these seals off too many times, really, for what I wanted. I just wanted to put them in, but it is what it is, and we have to work with those. Obviously, they're not original seals. How they went on when they fitted them in at Jaguar, whether they had to mess around with them, I don't know. I would assume that they were perfectly correct, what Jaguar made, and they just glued them in and they were away. Yeah, so if we go around the other side, I'll just show you the door shut and how it sounds going in. It's nice. I'm quite happy really where it's gone, even though it's taken me way too long. I've probably had 6 or 7 days on this, which, because I only get 2 days to work on the car a week, it's taken up a lot of time. 7 days, and it's still not done. I've still got to finish this door off. I wanted to get these seals in, and I wanted to get on with exhaust, which I said I was going to do. I've started measuring up, trying to calculate the runner lengths for the headers. So I've got an intern, a university intern I work with, from Huddersfield University. He's a good lad. So he's been teaching me some maths. So I've been trying to work out the runner lengths with the equations from a book I've got, and I will show when I come to do them. I will show you the book where I've got off the top of my head. I can't remember what it is, but yeah, the equation that I like to have. So he was helping me somewhat with that. Anyway, let's go down the other side and let's see what we've got. So offside, this is one I've been playing around with mostly, and if you just look at the line of the car as it runs down, she does look quite well now with the door. The door's added a real dimension to the run of the lines on the car, and I think putting the extra 7-inch into it and shortening the door by, I think it was 2 inch, has added a right look to the car, because originally the door was down here. That's where the door was originally, and so taking that much off, obviously it's shortened that, but it's made it look longer. Even though it is longer, it's made it look longer just because it's shorter in its depth. So yeah, anyway, so just to listen to the door, and then we'll look at the shut around it, and I'll show you what I mean. So the door. So you can see it takes nothing to shut it. It's sat quite happy, and yeah, so we'll have a look at the shuts. We'll come over here and we'll have a look at the shuts and see what you think. Right, so a shut gaps for this door. As you can see, they're looking quite good. Nothing over excessive. You can see they're just rubber squeezing out of the top here. There's a different form of the rubber on this top, which is to seal this top part of the door so water doesn't run off down into it, and then on the inside. As you can see, I set the rubber inside, and in places when the door shuts it pulls it in slightly as it catches it, but there was nothing I physically could do. If I took any more out, then it wouldn't seal. It wouldn't seal. So it is sealed, but it's not stuck out, and that's the main thing. When we come to the bottom, like I said, I had it so it was pretty much flush nearly, and in places here there's some vents, water vents in the door which I put in, so that's pushing that out a little bit, but not much. But if you look, you can see it's up pretty much. It's pretty much running flush as it should be. So if we run it back here, it's just slightly proud here, but I didn't want to take too much off, because if I did, I was worried that it wouldn't seal maybe when it settles. If it doesn't settle down it next however long, then I will take some more off and try and bring that in, but I'm not sure which part of the seal's lifting this out, but it's not bad. And then up to the top we can see the swage line is running okay, tops of the door is good. So yeah, I'm happy with it, even though it's taken me way too long to put the seals in, but there was nothing else I could do with them but cut them down and sand them and just try and set them in. So it's been a bit of an headache, but that's where we are with this. So I'll finish off the door next week, and then hopefully we can start getting some stuff for the exhaust sorted out. So yeah, so we'll go to the front. Right, just in closing, I'm grateful for, as always, the people watching, your likes, your subscribes. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for your comments. There was some I was going to go over, but my computer's been messing up and I've had to reboot all that, so I've not gone over them as I should have done. But just a big shout out to everybody that watches it. Cheers, and yeah, just hopefully keep watching, and hopefully I can keep making them better, making them more interesting, and hopefully one day we'll get it running and get it outside and get it in the sunlight and be able to see it better, because it is really awkward in here trying to show the car and what I've been doing on it, especially on the outside, because there's so little room to work around the car. Me and my son have a right joy trying to set the camera up and the lighting to try and make it so you can see what I'm trying to describe. It is a dingy hole, is this place, but it's make do with what you've got. So once again, thank you, and you all take it steady, and hopefully it'll be along for next one what we put in. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you later on.